Hey everybody, welcome to Gabriel Night, Sins of the Fathers. I play the intro, but it really doesn't show you anything that you're not going to find in the game itself. It's basically just a collection of, yeah, let's just go with it. Day 1. I dreamt of blood upon the shore, of eyes that spoke of sin. The lake was smooth and deep and black, as was her scented skin.
I bet. Just a minute.
1 second.
It lives, I see. Do you want to speak with Lolita? I'm sorry, but Gabriel is allowed. Oh, I mean, he's out. Yeah, if
This
he
is
ever comes
Gabriel.
back, I'll tell him. You know, you could do better. I know I don't know you, but you could do better. Good morning. The phone's been ringing off the hook all morning. Let me know when you want your messages.
Yeah.
Gee, you're lively. Did you have another nightmare last night?
Sort of.
Mm-hmm. I told you it's that voodoo book you're researching. That stuff can seriously screw up your karma.
I'm sure that's it. Maybe I should write a horror novel on passive resistance instead.
So don't
That
sleep.
is Tim
It's
Curry.
your body. Anyway, your handheld tape recorder came today.
Really? Great.
I can't wait to see what human rights you violate with this one.
I can't wait to violate them. For example, if you would just let me...
And I located some local voodoo references for you. Dixieland Drugstore and the Historical Museum of Voodoo. Both are right here in French Quarter.
How would I ever manage without you?
You? Give me a break. The devil himself couldn't change you.
Well, if the devil had great legs, perhaps. Like yours.
And a riveting personality, I'm sure. Well, if you need any more research done, just ask. It's not as though we're swamped with customers.
Right. This is Grace.
Don't mind if I do.
Do what?
Oh, nothing.
She's our employee slash assistant. This is St. George's Books, our bookstore.
St. George Books could use some serious renovation, but Gabriel likes to think that the place has character.
God, I miss this. Let's read ourselves what's in the Daily Rag, eh?
Times Picayune, dated June 18, 1993. The front page has an article about the voodoo murders. The article says that the victims are all identified as members of the underworld. The
So
general
they're
public of
demons?
Narleens is in no danger. Police claim the so-called voodoo trappings found at the crime scenes are fake, a scare tactic, and that the murders are not associated with any genuine practitioners. Gabriel also scans the Aquarius horoscope for the day.
As he
But
does in
fatal
every
storms
time you
ahead.
read it.
Proceed with caution, and do not get involved with anything new at this time.
Right.
Need a magnifying glass?
Mind if I borrow the magnifying glass?
No, Sherlock. Just bring it back when we get the next estate shipment.
No problem.
And these tweezers?
I'm gonna take the tweezers for a bit.
Good. You're beginning to look a little scruffy.
Just trying to make you feel at home.
I don't get that joke. This?
3 snakes in a skull. Gabriel's father painted it.
What a wacky, offbeat kind of guy Daddy was.
It's a good painting.
It's certainly light enough, but rather useless, as Gabriel well knows.
Let's try opening it then.
Gabriel opens the cash register to examine the tape. Or, in the case of St. George's books, the mistape. The cash register contains about $20 in small bills and change. It's a gift certificate left over from yet another dismal failure of a promotion.
Well, I'll just take that then.
I trust you can live without this old gift certificate.
Knock yourself out.
Let's see.
The top shelf contained books on animals, including snakes and other reptiles.
Oh, let's have ourselves a read.
Gabriel pulls down a book on snakes.
Snakes are legless reptiles.
No shit.
Some snakes kill their prey with poison, some by constriction. A snake smells by tasting the air with its forked tongue. The smells are passed back to a sense organ in the mouth. Constrictor snakes, however, sense their prey
This is
by
important.
vibration.
Did you know that medieval legends about dragons and giant worms are actually based on snakes? You know, dragons, devils, sea monsters, well, they've always been associated with snakes.
This is mildly
Right.
interesting.
Get alive.
The top shelf contains a set of German books that once belonged to Gabriel's grandfather.
Grandfather.
Gabriel selects a volume of German poetry that he always found strangely compelling.
Drei Drachen. Drei Drachen kriechen in meinen Schlaf. Die Ziele wollen sie lebendig zum Fraß. Feurigen Atems, gespaltener Zunge, genießen sie jedes Mal.
I have no idea what
That's
that
nice.
is.
Kinda creepy, though. Who's the author?
Heinz Ritter. I'm not sure what it says, but I get the feeling the guy was one sick puppy.
All I really can make out is that the first bit is, I think, three dragons in my mind, or something like that. Which we can find out here.
Gabriel leafs through a German-English dictionary.
Let's see, Mittag means midday, noon.
Gabriel
Spiel means game. Interesting.
Gabriel leafs through
Himmel means heaven. Aha.
I knew that one.
Gabriel
Dry means 3.
Gab
Possessin means possessed. That's handy to know.
I'm sure that'll come in.
Gabriel
In the,
leafs
casual
through
conversation.
a German-English
Drachen means dragons. I wonder if Mosley would know he was being insulted if I called him Drachenbread.
I'm pretty sure you'd be able to get the context. This is our bedroom. We live inside our bookshop. I really don't think I need to say more than that.
There's a flashlight on the dresser. This building's wiring leaves a lot to be desired.
I might need a flashlight.
You might indeed.
Jeans and t-shirts.
Gabriel isn't one for variety.
The medicine cabinet contains a few old prescriptions, personal hygiene stuff, and lots of hair products, including some hair gel.
Can't see where I wouldn't need this.
I'll take this hair gel. You never know when you'll need a touch-up.
As I may have noted before, that musical chime is my ringtone for text messages. I mean, come on, it's so perfect, and I feel so accomplished every time I get a text message.
Gabriel, shut the refrigerator, please. I could smell it from here.
Women.
Sad, isn't it?
A little cold bubbly and brie cheese is
Ugh.
about all Gabriel's fridge ever has in it. Bills from last Christmas gather dust on the door. It's Gabriel's bed, unmade as usual. Handsome, isn't he?
I'm doing the best I can.
This is for Operate.
Move, Gabriel. Try the walk icon.
Hey, I'll ask the questions around here. Can somebody tell me what's going on? Could you just shoot me? Can somebody tell me... Don't ask me, I'm even less informed than you. Can somebody tell me what's going on? You've already got me, you lucky devil. If I want to open up, I'll go to a shrink.
The typewriter is beginning to accumulate cobwebs.
Oh yes, he's also
Should
an
I feel
off.
guilty? Nah. Writer's block.
The wastebasket overflows with crumpled pages of mediocre glory.
Yeah, just kick a man while he's down. Alright. Let's have a chat.
Got a minute, Grace?
What's up?
What can you tell me about voodoo?
You're gonna hear that a
I
lot.
didn't know much of anything about it until you started researching it for your book. Now I know that it's active in the city. There's that shop and museum. It can clearly be dangerous in the wrong hands. You should be careful investigating it.
What do you know about the
You're gonna
voodoo
hear that a
music?
lot too. In the same tone.
Just what I read in the paper, same as you.
What can you tell me about New Orleans?
Well, I've only been here 2 months, but I love it. It's so much more alive than any place I've been. It feels like anything's possible here.
Do you have messages for me?
Dana called, and Susie left a message about a lawsuit.
Toss 'em.
Okie dokie. There's more when you want 'em.
Do you have more messages for me?
Your grandmother called.
I keep meaning to get over there. What does she say? Did she sound good?
She sounded great, and we had a nice little chat about you.
Grace.
Don't worry. I didn't go into detail about your cardinal sins. Not that anything about you could surprise her. She adores you anyway.
She's my girl.
But she said to remind you to stop by and go through your father's things.
Okay.
We will do that.
Do you have more messages for me?
Here's a strange one. You got a call from someone named Wolfgang Ritter. He said he was calling from Germany.
Yeah.
He told me it was urgent, maybe you should give him a call.
Call Germany, like hell. If it's really important, he'll call back.
Well, fine. Let's just hope he's not with the German lottery for pitiful American authors.
You disagree? Well, you really think he's gonna call Germany? Do you know how much that would cost?
Tell me about yourself, Grace.
Yeah, right, Knight.
I mean it.
What do you want to know?
How come we haven't gone out yet?
I'm still waiting around for that lobotomy. As soon as I get it, I'll let you know.
How do you like working at St. George's Books?
Well, it's not exactly a huge intellectual challenge. Although the math in your record books could confuse Einstein. Still, I love old books, and it's a nice way to pay the bills while I explore the city for a summer. If you ever pay me, that is.
I'll get around to it.
What do you do after work?
Well, I either go to my oil painting class or my Tai Chi. You know that.
Well, this is for my benefit,
You know,
not
you can
his.
go overboard with this improving yourself stuff. You don't want to alienate us mere mortals.
I suppose I should just allow my mind and body to atrophy.
Works for me. How old are you?
Old enough to know about men like you.
Old enough.
Just tell me anything at all.
I just got my master's in history and classics. My folks wanted me to go on right away for my PhD, but 18 years of school was enough. I needed a break.
This just seems like an odd thing to say to someone.
Just tell me anything at all.
I came to New Orleans because I'd read so much about it, and I thought, you know,
It would
spending a
really
few
just
months
be
here would clear
weird
my
to
head.
me if someone said that to me. Just tell me anything at all. Okay.
Just tell me anything at all.
I've always wanted to do something really adventurous, you know? Something real life. I'm sick of libraries and lecture halls.
Just tell me.
My folks are traditional Japanese. I don't even remember Japan myself. I was 3 when we came to the States.
Just.
I've been studying Tai Chi for 10 years. It's a very spiritual discipline. I'm sure discipline of any sort isn't something that would appeal to you, Gabriel.
Harsh.
Just tell.
My folks want me to get married to a boy back east,
Oh no.
Mark Kobayashi. His parents are traditional Japanese too. I might eventually, but right now,
What, seriously? Do you even know the guy?
Just.
I came to New Orleans because I'd read so much about it and I thought, you know, spending a few months here would clear my head.
I'm guessing that didn't happen.
Nothing, I guess.
Suit yourself.
Alright then. Out we go. Putting on our trusty jacket first.
I've got some things I need to do.
Good luck.
Even though it's the middle of June in Louisiana. Let's first go and visit our grandmother.
Gabriel, I'm so glad you stopped by.
Sorry it's been a while, Grandma.
Not at all. Give us a kiss. Now come and sit
That was
down.
more of a hug, if I'm
Tell
honest
me
with
how
you.
you're doing.
Can we talk, Gran?
Of course, my boy. How can I help?
Such a sweet old lady. I don't want to really ask her about the voodoo murders. That just seems wrong.
Tell me about our family.
Who would you like to hear about? Your granddad, your father, or your mother?
Tell me about my mother.
Your mother was Margaret Templeton when your father met her. She came from a very wealthy Creole family in New Orleans.
Yeah, that didn't last.
She was beautiful and reckless. She was madly in love with your father, of course, but I also think she liked defying her family.
Tell me about my...
Your mother's family refused to give her money after the marriage.
Yeah, that's what I
All she
thought.
had left was a modest trust fund from a great aunt, who happened to like Philip. The remainder of your mother's trust fund became yours when she died. That's what you used to open your bookshop.
I'm pretty sure Gabe knew that part.
Tell me...
The Templetons are all gone now. Every last one of them. They never wanted anything to do with us, of course. What a waste.
Tell me about my father.
My
Your
father.
father was my only child. How we adored him. Philip suffered from terrible nightmares, just like your granddad did. They
Gee,
were too
that sounds
easily
familiar.
hard.
You'll see the nightmares eventually.
Tell me about my father.
When Philip met your mother, it was love at first sight. They were married 2 weeks later. Never looked at a girl seriously until then. And he looked at plenty. You have your father's way with women, Gabriel. And your granddad's.
Right then.
Tell me about my...
I wanted to just lay down and die when he and your mother were killed in that car crash when you were only 8. It was the thought of taking care of you that kept me going, Gabriel. The police say your father swerved off the road after being frightened by something. Perhaps a deer in the road or a wild cat.
Yeah, that's probably it.
Tell me...
I don't...
Tell me...
Your granddad wanted Philip to have a normal life. He was obsessed by that thought. He pushed Philip to go to law school. Philip was driven to art. He painted almost in a daze. He would get so inside himself when he worked.
Tell me...
He always hated it that it was Margaret's money that supported the three of you when his painting couldn't. I kept telling him, try something more cheerful, like a landscape or two. But he couldn't do it.
Yeah, well, if it's
Just
not inside him,
dark
it's not
and
inside him.
disturbing for the public, you know.
Tell me...
I don't...
Tell me something about Granddad.
Your granddad immigrated to America when he was 21. He worked his way through school, met and married me, and we had your father, Philip. Since you're so interested in family history these days,
Always
why
good to
don't you
get
go
that.
by St.
Well,
Louis
good, you're
Cemetery
supposed to,
number
you have
1
to.
and visit the family tomb? It would be a sweet gesture.
Well, that's
Maybe
why
I
I
will.
went through all that talking about his family. Let's keep
Tell
going.
me something about Granddad.
It can be
Your
important.
granddad supported me and your father with bookkeeping. I'll tell you what, though, he hated every minute of it. Didn't really like bookkeeping one bit. Maybe that was why he had the worst luck with jobs. The nights he'd come home afraid to tell me he'd lost another. And I would tell him it didn't matter to me. But he felt ashamed, Gabriel.
Tell me something about Granddad.
Harrison was only 36 when he died. Your father was 8 years old at the time. Your granddad was hit by a streetcar in the business district. Took me nearly a year to believe he was really gone.
I'm sorry, Gran.
I know you are, dear.
Tell me something...
Did you know that your granddad was a poet? He was! He wrote the most beautiful poetry for me when we were courting. I always thought he should have done something with that gift. But he was such a practical man. Didn't believe in chasing after dreams.
Shame.
Tell me something...
I don't...
Tell me about...
Me?
Oh, come on, Gran.
All right, dear. What do you want to hear?
How are you feeling
How you
these
feeling
days?
these days?
Fit as a fiddle, and don't you worry your head about it.
Just checking.
What do you do all day?
You know how I love to knit and work in my garden. I also take long walks. It's the only way to keep an old body like mine from stiffening up.
You're not old.
Oh, don't be foolish. I'm older than the hills.
Yeah, she's probably old, Gabe.
Tell me about the fall you met Granddaddy.
Well, you know I was born Rebecca Wright. My daddy owned a lot of land outside town. We grew peas, corn, cotton, all kinds of things. It was a good childhood, but my father was very strict. He didn't much let me out of his sight.
I don't think that lasted.
Tell me how you met Granddaddy.
I met Harrison at a church revival. There was a traveling preacher back then, a big fella named Reverend Jim. I even remember his slogan, "Come to me to find your way." Your granddad was sitting right behind me and my girlfriend Alma, and at one point, old Reverend Jim was flinging his hair around with his fire and brimstone antics, and a piece of it, one of those small add-on do's for man, went flying off. I swear, Harrison and I were the only ones that noticed. We both started laughing to beat the band. Everyone looked at us like we were a couple of loonies. It was then I knew that he was for me.
That's touching. A little odd.
Just tell me anything at all.
I had your father when I was 22. The doctors told me I couldn't have any more after him, so I'm afraid I spoiled him rotten.
Just tell me anything at all.
You noticing a
I
pattern
never
here?
loved any man but your grandfather, and I never will.
Things just don't seem to be going so well for the Knight family.
Just tell me anything at all.
I hate to admit it, but I was a jealous little thing when your granddad and I were younger. I loved him so ferociously, and he did attract the eyes of the ladies, whether he wanted to or not.
Just tell me.
I get lonely sometimes, but I have lots of girlfriends in the neighborhood. I call one of them if I'm feeling blue.
Oh. What can you tell me?
New Orleans is very southern.
Oh, no
of course,
shit.
though not as much as it used to be when I was a girl. It's gotten much more influenced by the East Coast and that California stuff.
Ugh.
Still, it hasn't changed as much as other places, I reckon. We've always been happy here.
You know, you get prettier every time I see you.
Oh, you.
I'm going to go up to the attic, Gran.
Be careful of the dust.
Alright, let's see what we have up here.
There's a sketchbook on the chair that Gabriel vaguely remembers as his father's.
I think I'll take Daddy's sketchbook with me.
I wonder if Daddy had any sketches in there. Oh!
Images haunt the pages of Philip Knight's sketchbook, the way they must have haunted his mind. The images touch a deep chord in Gabriel. So familiar are they that he finds it hard to believe they aren't from his own subconscious.
I forgot about that.
There's nothing I want in there.
An elaborate mechanical clock, probably of German origin, is among the discarded treasures of the attic. And it doesn't seem to be running at the moment.
Well, let's see if we can't fix that. What? I wasn't done.
The face
And then this part. I guess that could be.
Granddaddy, you old fox.
3 dragons.
The old photograph showed Gabriel's grandfather with 2 other men that Gabriel has not identified. The letter is written in German, but Gabriel determines what he can about it. It was sent from a place called Schloss Ritter in Rittersberg, West Germany. The letter is addressed to mein Sohn Heinz and signed Wilhelm Ritter. One of the reoccurring words strewn throughout the letter is the word Schattenjäger. The only thing that Gabriel can decipher about the letter is a sense of urgency in the handwriting and in the heavy use of quill-tipped bold strokes and underlining.
Indeed. Let us speak to our grandmother of this.
That's it. Take a load off, hon.
Does this mean anything to you, Gran?
That one in the middle is your grandfather. Those other two I don't know.
Does this mean anything to you, Gran?
No, dear.
Interesting, interesting.
Can we talk?
Of course.
Let's ask her about Heinz Ritter.
Do you know anyone named Heinz Ritter?
Heinz Ritter. Oh, Gabriel, where did you hear that name?
I found a letter in Granddaddy's clock.
I promised I'd never tell you or your father, but I suppose it doesn't matter now.
Tell me, Gran.
You can tell
Your
he's serious because he's got
granddad's
capital
name
letters
was
there.
Heinz Ritter before he came to America. He changed it to Harrison Knight legally when he arrived.
Really?
Why did Granddad change his name?
I don't know. I tried to ask him about his family, his life before America, but he didn't want to talk about it. Never even told me about his name change. I found out one day when I saw his passport in a drawer. Since he obviously found it painful, I never questioned him about it. But I'm sure there was trouble with the law. Your granddad was the best man I ever knew.
Well, she's right about that.
Have you ever heard of a Schottenjäger?
Schottenjäger? Schottenjäger? How odd, Gabriel. I haven't heard that word in years. My goodness, you've given me a chill. Your granddad used to say that sometimes in his sleep.
Really? Do you know what it means?
No, I'm afraid not. I asked him about it once. I don't think he answered me. Odd.
Didn't Granddad ever say anything about his past or his family?
Only that his family was crazy, and that he never wanted to see them again. He believed in some family curse, thought that he could spare Philip and Philip's children from what he called old nightmares. Whatever Harrison wanted to spare you, though, it cost him plenty. He never did sleep well, and he would often get a far-away, guilty look in his eyes. He was wrestling with something he thought he should be doing, someplace he thought he ought to be. I don't know how he could think that he should be anywhere but with me and our child. It's a terrible way to live.
Well, that's all very interesting. And about all the time we have for today. So, let us save in our classic Sierra style. And I will bid you all adieu. I'm the Blues 32. This is Gabriel Knight, Sins of the Father. TTFN. Ta-ta for now.